Happy Friday to you. It is September 13th. That's Friday the 13th, but we're not going to pay attention to that part. I'm Amy Lacey. Andreas White-Murdoch will join us a little bit later in the show. It is really nice to work on a program that features a variety of good and informative content. Of course, though, we sprinkle in some delicious food, toe-tapping music, and so much more for you. If you can't catch our live show, you can always defer to our show website at virginiathismorning.com to watch any of our segments. We have lots to cover today, so let's get started with a preview. Bringing awareness for prostate cancer. It's very important. Early detection is key. Today we'll talk with Petersburg Mayor Samuel Parham and Dr. Derek Scott. They'll be sharing information for an upcoming prostate cancer awareness event happening on the campus of Virginia State University next week. That conversation is still to come this morning on our live show. And tomorrow kicks off International Peace Week. Our friends from Initiatives of Change USA are hosting a special event, and you're invited. Alan Charles Chipman is the executive director and will lead our conversation that's coming up a little later this morning. And you know our Friday show would not be complete without something to eat. Now that football season is officially started, it's the perfect time to create some dips for your chips. Yum, I'm there. Local cookbook author and recipe developer Deborah Johnson is here, and she's going to show us how to make a Rotel sausage cheese dip along with a warm and cheesy crab dip. I'll take seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths. That's coming up in our second half hour. Now we want to head outside, send it over to CBS 6 meteorologist Tom Patton, who has a look at the weekend forecast. Hey, Tom.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'll tell you what, warm and cheesy go together, don't they?
You know what?
Isn't that a nice little phrase?
Warm and cheesy, gooey, add that in there too, and I think you have the perfect match.
Man, that sounds great. Well, good morning to you. We've got a cool start, kind of a cloudy, humid start this morning. There's been a lot of fog in the area. We have sort of an oceanic air mass kind of moving in here throughout the morning, so overcast skies. Fog's lifting a little bit up in Caroline County there. 69 degrees is our current temperature, and a dew point of 68. So we're getting that humidity, that vapor, that moisture right off the ocean there. So a good deal of humidity in the air today. Temperatures are just going to slowly climb. When the air is dry, we get a quicker jump, but today it's just going to be a slow climb, likely into about the lower 80 range. Northeast winds at 9 miles an hour, so coming off the ocean there. I'll tell you what, this fog is a little stubborn this morning because of the cloud cover over it there. So we still have some pretty dense fog in Louisa and Hanover and Goochland counties, parts of Cumberland, Buckingham, Amelia, Nottoway, Prince Edward, Lunenburg. Still seeing some dense fog, some fairly low visibility. So there you go. This time of year, sometimes it doesn't burn off as quickly, and we also have that flow off the ocean there. So temperatures are in the 60s, just about everywhere, low, mid, upper 60s. 70s, though, the farther east you go, and you can see that flow of air from the northeast. So today, early fog, otherwise mostly cloudy. We'll look for a high today of about 82 degrees. I think we can see some partly cloudy conditions later in the day and tonight. About 65 degrees overnight tonight. All right, well, our next rain chance, really today there could be a sprinkle or a stray shower, but you can see a good deal of clouds advancing in our direction. A lot of that moisture kind of staying in the Carolinas, but a breakaway sprinkle or a breakaway shower is not out of the question. You can see that turn there in the middle of the country. That's the remnant of Francine, an area of low pressure. Any rain chance for us over the next several days is very low, but not zero. Our better chances will probably come toward the middle of next week, still looking at Tuesday and Wednesday for an area of low pressure we expect to develop probably down near Florida, kind of drift into the Carolina coastline and possibly move inland as we go into the day Tuesday. There's some hints that it may not, but that's what it's looking like right now, Tuesday into Wednesday, and that'll bring us our next significant chance for rain around here, and we'll see how that develops over the next several days. Low 80s for the weekend, 60s at night, and then around 80 as we go into next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Warm and cheesy one. How about that? Virginia This Morning will continue right after this.
Happy Happy Friday to you. It is September 13th. It's after 9 o'clock, and that means you tuned in at the right time for the area's only live local talk and entertainment show, Virginia This Morning. I'm Amy Lacey. Andrea Swipe-Murda will join us a little bit later on in today's show. Of course, we have another jam-packed program designed just for you. Here's what's coming up today in a quick recap. Logo recipe developer Deborah Johnson is here with us this morning in the Virginia This Morning kitchen. She's going to make two tasty dips, one made with sausage, the other containing crab. We're looking forward to sampling them all coming up. Petersburg Mayor Samuel Parham is here along with Dr. Derek Scott. They're going to tell us all about important prostate cancer awareness events that are happening next week in the area. And Alan Charles Chipman is here representing the group Initiatives of Change USA. We will talk with him about International Peace Week. Before we check out this next feature, I just want to say, oh shucks, here's an open invitation to you to submit your famous cornbread recipe for your chance to be crowned a cornbread champion. It's always entertaining when we can get hands-on with a segment. Earlier this week, Mr. B and I got a little corny in the kitchen. Take a look. Okay, Mr. B, let's start off with a joke.
Okay.
What do you call an angry carrot?
Orange, you mad?
How about steamed veggie? I know it's a corny joke, but that is the perfect tie-in to this segment. Our friends at Broadway in Richmond are hosting the corniest fall festival event, and there is a cornbread contest, and the winner will have the opportunity to appear on Virginia This Morning to showcase their winning recipe. Okay. I love baking. I've loved baking since I was a kid, and wanted to share a cornbread recipe with you to maybe get some folks interested.
So this is going to be corny, it's why I'm here, right?
It's going to be very, very corny.
It's going to be amazing.
Corn maze, I like that one.
Yeah, go amazing.
So anyway, I call this...
Can I call you pudding? Like in...
Corn pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, pudding.
Okay,
go ahead.
pudding. So anyway, I call this busy mom cornbread because I love to bake, but baking takes a lot of exact science that a lot of folks don't have time for.
Right.
And a lot of times it involves going to the store to buy ingredients, and that just adds in another step. So these are things that I always have in the pantry, and you know what? We're just gonna call it baking, and you get it on the table and it's fresh and it's made with love.
For a busy mom.
It's for a busy mom.
Okay.
So what I did was I already beat one egg in this container that we just had here at the TV station.
Just happened to be here.
And do you want to put in this mix? This is just a mix that I bought.
I'll be very careful to exactly get the whole package in.
Yes, I am not going to say which brand it is, but
it's done in a jiffy.
Yes, it will have you get your recipe done in a jiffy. So we're just going to put that in there and mix with one egg.
Okay.
And then no measuring cups needed because A, we didn't have any at the TV station, but B, because, you know, I'm a busy mom, and a lot of folks are busy out there.
Keep talking, we're all ears.
All the corn jokes are just coming and coming and coming. You gotta love this so much. So then we have about a 1/3 cup of milk. We're just gonna put a little splash in there. I kind of know what a 1/3 cup looks like.
Okay.
And we're just gonna keep, do you wanna do any of the mixing?
Sure, I'll mix it up.
Taking one for the team. And then we have about a 1/2 cup.
Did you ask me to mix because I'm a disc jockey?
You are fabulous at it. I asked him to mix because he is a great cook.
Oh.
So then we're gonna put about a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt in there. That replaces sour cream in a lot of recipes, and it still gives it that tang and a little bit of that flavor to it. But I don't often have sour cream, but I often have Greek yogurt, so that's why I'm doing that.
It's stuff that you have in your house.
Exactly. And then this will be every parent or grandparent's go-to. This is one of those little applesauce packages that I always have in my house. I know you're asking questions, but what you have to do is this replaces the oil and the sugar that are in the recipe.
Okay.
So about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup.
So when I was 20, you used to make pancakes on Saturday mornings with Jack Daniels in them. This is not the same.
This is not the same, but you know, it will make people smile too, so that might have something to do with it. So anywhere from about 1 to, we'll put a little splash of another one in there.
A splash.
Yeah, and then we mix it up.
Okay.
And then the other ingredient that I have, this one took a little bit longer, but this is just some leftovers that I made over the weekend.
Okay.
This is some corn that I cooked on the cob. I cut it down and then I put it in the skillet with a little butter, salt, and pepper. You know, you get that little bit of a
It's got a little
crisp.
crunch and it's got some spices in it.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
just throw that in there and then there you go.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all you do. You just mix it up. Again, ingredients that most people have.
So wait a minute, it was eggs.
Eggs, a mix, milk, Greek yogurt, applesauce.
Applesauce.
And there you go.
Okay. And
then-
corn.
And corn. And I think you could probably even just use frozen or a can of corn.
Yeah, but it
That's
wouldn't be as good.
Right, because there was
spice
that
those up and they
added
were
step,
grilled.
butter, salt, pepper, that kind of thing.
all the good stuff. Okay.
So then we
All right,
just-
busy mom.
I always like to have fun little muffin tins, so I have this one that has hearts in it. For the sake of TV, we're going to wave the wand. This goes into here, about 400-degree oven for 20-25 minutes until you see a little bit of that golden brown.
Okay, and then boom,
And then boom,
magically
what you have, and look, it's already out of the pan and everything.
flipped itself in the oven, which is a
itself.
really good oven that does that.
And then you have little cornbread muffins. And you can taste one and vouch for the fact that
Oh, you just showed the bottom. It looks pretty on the top.
yeah, it's like a little muffin there. So whenever you eat it, it has a little bit of sweetness in it. That's from the sugar.
Oh, my
from the
little sweet
applesauce.
muffin.
To replace the applesauce, and it's a good way to get little fruits and veggies in the recipe. The kids don't know about it. The grown-ups don't know about it, and it ends up tasting pretty good too. What do you think?
Pretty corny. That's good. That's really good cornbread.
It is good, but it's just a way to show folks that we want your recipes because it's an important part of this community effort to celebrate Shucked. Don't miss your chance to win 4 tickets to Shucked the musical this October, hitting the stage at Altria Theater. Just go to wtvr.com/contests and you can share your cornbread recipe. I don't know that what I just did is award-winning, but it serves the purpose. We'll announce the finalists on Virginia This Morning on September 25th.
Ah, shucks.
All right,
The winner will be chosen during a cornbread tasting at the contest at the corniest fall festival ever. That's in Monroe Park on Saturday, October 5th.
Big good luck to everyone out there, and stay tuned because more Virginia This Morning returns after a quick break.
This segment is sponsored by Petersburg Area Regional Tourism. Love happens in the best part of Virginia.
Welcome back, everybody. Grab a paddle and get ready to battle. Friends of the Lower Appomattox River are hosting the 16th annual Paddle Battle next Saturday, September 21st. It is the perfect time to celebrate the river and have a great time winding through beautiful marshy areas filled with wildlife. Here to tell us all about what's new and exciting this year is Wendy Austin, the executive director of the organization. Thank you for coming in today.
Happy to be here.
It is great weather outside, so it's so much just the appropriate time to talk about all that we can be doing on the rivers. What's going on next week?
Yes, we have our amazing Paddle or Battle. It's the 16th year that we are putting this on for the community. We welcome folks of all ages to come out and paddle 10 miles down our beautiful Appomattox River. We put in at the wonderful historic Petersburg Rotary Park on Pocahontas Island and paddle the 10 miles down to amazing, historic Hopewell Marina. And at the marina, actually, we do also offer a guided short paddle for those who may not want to do the full 10 mile.
Wow, so this is a fabulous resource. It is always available. It's been available way before we came to this area, but or really any of us who's living today. But this is something this is a good day to go out there and explore that river.
Absolutely. We are really working hard at Friends of the Lower Appomattox River to strengthen and really reclaim the beauty of that river. It is a gorgeous river, runs 25 miles, the area that we focus on from Lake Chesdin in Chesterfield, Dinwiddie, rolls down past Petersburg and on into the James River. It is the largest tributary of the James River in the tidal area. And so there are many access points and parks all along that 25-mile route.
There's just something about water that can be just natural therapy. It just makes you feel so good to get out there, listen to the sounds of the water trickling, the breeze on your face. If somebody has never experienced that, why should they consider maybe learning more about your organization and getting involved?
Yes, well, certainly we know that outdoor recreation and exercise is so important and beneficial to wellness overall. Even more, it's exponentially better for you to do it outside and commune with nature, have your exercise and recreation. And it is so accessible here in our region, especially the Appomattox River. It's not as large, and we are Friends of the Lower Appomattox River working to create a trail, bicycle pedestrian trail, all along that 25-mile corridor to make it even more accessible. And it's beautiful nature and unique plants and birds. We have eagles going by all the time, so it's just a beautiful area. And then we have in Petersburg, accessible to the downtown area, the Old Town, where there's plenty of good things to do.
I have never had a bad meal in Old Town Petersburg.
We were talking about that earlier.
I always make sure that I stop at one of my favorites when I'm driving through there and finding some new ones.
First, come out and get your exercise on the river and trail, and then go enjoy the restaurants.
So if somebody is maybe a beginner, what do they need to know before they head out there for the first time?
To our event, actually, and starting out on our event is really a good way to go, because we have safety vehicles all over the place. We have the route lined with buoys, so plenty of comfort out there. It is flat water all the way. We are paddling downriver, so you get an assist from the river currents and the tide going out. We time it so we're going with the tide. So it's really not so strenuous. And it's a very straightforward paddle route, and beautiful and enjoyable. You're right there. The shoreline is visible. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
So this is a great time then, I guess, to dip that toe in the water and get started with it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in today. What a fabulous event, and what a great resource here in our region.
Sure, thank you.
Great to celebrate it. Presented by the Friends of the Lower Appomattox River, Paddle Battle 2024 is coming up next Saturday, September 21st from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The start location is Rotary Park, Pocahontas Island, 149 Rolfe Street in Petersburg, and finishes at the Hopewell City Marina, 1051 Riverside Avenue in Hopewell. Registration is open. For more information, visit folar-va.org. For more information on Petersburg Area Regional Tourism, you can also visit their website at bestparkva.org. And stay with us. We'll be right back with more Virginia This Morning. Welcome back, everybody, to our live Friday morning show. There is no question that history is the backdrop for many cities and towns in Virginia. Old Town Alexandria is a perfect and inviting example. In this week's Discover with Dave, we are reminded why it's often voted one of America's favorite cities.
This segment is sponsored by Rockingham Insurance.
Living Museum is a great way to describe Old Town. Roughly 1 square mile perched on the Potomac, the museum part is filled with buildings dating back to the 17th and 18th centuries. The living part, well, let's just say there's a lot of life here. One of the places where time has stood still is the Stabler Leadbeater Apothecary Museum. It opened as a pharmacy in 1792 and was run by the same family until 1933 when it closed. Everything here is as it was, including the upstairs workshop, where many of the drawers are still filled with a fascinating list of Harry Potter-like ingredients.
I
love a good farmer's market. The Old Town Farmer's Market is the longest continuous running farmer's market in the country. It's open every Saturday, 7 to noon. Dating back to 1753, the current cornucopia features dozens of vendors, rain or shine. Much of your visit will likely be lined up along what's referred to as the King Street Mile, block after block of locally owned shops, bars, restaurants, you name it. At night, people spill into the street and restaurants to wine and dine. It's often billed as the best place for a date night. Of course, you'll need a place to stay. The newly renovated chic Hotel Heron is just a block off King Street with an in-house restaurant, contemporary design, comfy rooms, and a seasonal, awesome rooftop bar that offers sweeping views of Old Town and beyond, including the vibrant waterfront. This is where you'll find the Torpedo Factory Arts Center, catch water taxis to places like Georgetown and D.C., grab a bite, or just take in the view. Maybe it's easy to get caught up in the latest and greatest, but with a determined focus, Old Town Alexandria has proved why it is often voted one of the best places to visit and live in the U.S. In Alexandria, I'm Dave Parker.
Thanks, Dave. We look forward to your next adventure. Remember, for you at home, for home, auto, and farm insurance, give Rockingham Insurance a call at 800-434-7736 or visit rockingham.insure to find a local agent. Andreas, I'll send it over to you right now.
Thanks, Amy. Men should be educated about screening for prostate cancer because detecting it early can potentially make all the difference. Our community partners, Virginia State University, is hosting a special prostate cancer awareness event on September 19th. And this morning, we're joined by Petersburg Mayor Samuel Parham, along with Dr. Derek C. Scott, Dean of the College of Natural and Health Sciences at Virginia State University. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
It is a pleasure to be with you. You know I have a very special connection to Petersburg, Virginia, and there is so much education going on, especially at Virginia State University with all that you're doing, but also an event that's coming up very soon. So before we dive into the event, we talked a little bit about the effects of prostate cancer and the importance of detecting it early. And Mayor, you have a very personal story when it comes to this.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, at the age of 47, I got diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, and that was in last July. After I had my biopsy, they said it was very aggressive, and it was in my upper and lower prostate, and they said I really needed to move swiftly to make sure that I get it contained before it get outside the prostate. So by December of last year, December 11th was actually the day. I went in for a one-night overnight surgery, and I did the Da Vinci prostatectomy, in which they took my prostate completely out. And thank God to say today that I'm today completely cancer-free. And it was all about getting the word out and having those conversations with my doctor and with my family. And it was wonderful having my wife and my mother saying, come on, you got to stay on top of this. Come on, we need to do this.
That's right.
Because so much of what we do as men, we get busy and feel like, oh, we have time, or we'll think about it next year. So it was good to really get out there and I had some great doctors and great support system. So I just want to be able to spread the word and get the word out here to most men to say, go to the doctor, get tested, check your PSAs. Just because you're young and feel good, it doesn't mean that something can't be going on. And you have to deal with the fact that even with me, I would have thought before 50 and I have prostate cancer, no, I can't be right. So I did from the biopsy to MRIs and to say that it's really there, and really wanted to move swiftly to take care of that, because at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, 5 years from now, if I wouldn't have been proactive about it, I may not have been here for my daughter's graduation and things of that nature that I want to definitely be around for. So I'm happy to partner with Virginia State, which is a great partner of ours, and Bon Secours. We're really serious about health in Petersburg and our health disparities. And so I just wanted to use my story to get the word out to say, hey, it can happen to anyone. And that this is something that you should not, it should not be a fatal diagnosis. So we want men to come out to the event. Let's have a conversation on the different methods that you can use to treat prostate cancer. We've come so far with technology now that no man should ever die of prostate cancer. But if you're not proactive about your health, going to the doctor, you know, most men, we don't want to go to the doctor until we are on our back. We're supposed to be all Superman, but you can be Superman and go to the doctor.
Supermen go to the doctor. That's
exactly.
right. And supermen and women also do research in this area to ensure that the information is being shared, and the developments within oncology, especially within prostate cancer, have come so far. Tell us a little bit about the work that you all are doing at Virginia State.
A lot of this is being spearheaded by Ms. Tara Dickerson Anderson, and she's the executive director of our Public Health Institute. And when you look at prostate cancer, it disproportionately affects African American men at significantly higher rates. And so we have, at our mission as a HBCU, and we're a land grant, we have a responsibility to be in the community. And so when you look at stories like Mayor Parham, like, we have to have screenings and be able to go into the community and say, hey, let's work together and let's use the resources that we have at Virginia State University to make sure that the people in our community have equitable access, screenings, and this will increase the likelihood that they'll be able to survive from these different types of diseases and things that are disproportionately affecting our community. So we take that very seriously in terms of just equitable health care. And Ms. Dickerson Anderson has done a great job in partnering with the mayor and partnering with the city of Petersburg to make sure that VSU has that footprint, to make sure that we are a part of the community, and we also want to make sure the community is being healthy.
And that partnership will be on full display at your prostate cancer awareness event that's coming up in September. What can we expect from the event?
What you can expect from the event is open dialogue, and we plan on having our various doctors there to talk about the procedure I had, which is the Da Vinci prostatectomy. We have some other men there that have had the proton therapy. Then we have some other doctors and men that's done the seed implants. So, and some have done a mix of all of them. So just to be able to have those conversations and be able to say that there are a vast number of ways to deal with prostate cancer, and it's something that we have to talk about because it's growing, especially amongst my generation, Generation X, sure, they say, and we have 80% jump in cancers in our generation. So that means that it is definitely imperative that we are on top of this this thing that's going to be around. Cancer is not going anywhere, but being proactive on how we treat it and going to the doctor to watch those PSA levels. Sure. And I've managed to have a lot of conversations since I came out about my diagnosis and treatment. I've had a lot of husband and wives on the phone with me, sure, calling and saying, can you talk to him about going to the doctor, and his levels are up, and I'm just not sure he's taking this seriously, Mayor. And so I've been able to do a lot of the bridging of being the middleman in some relationships when it comes to cancer and health.
The conversation is so important, and I think that's what we're going to be doing on September 9th. I know there's much more conversation to be had. Yes. We're going to make sure that we get out there, support you all during the event, and make sure we share the news with those of Petersburg and beyond. Yes. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you, Virginia State University. It's always an honor.
Thank you so much.
The Prostate Cancer Awareness event is September 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Virginia State University in the L. Douglas Wilder Building, room 300. For more information, you can visit our show website at virginiathismorning.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our live Friday show. International Peace Week starts tomorrow. The organization Initiatives of Change USA is hosting special events to encourage residents to explore, discuss, and discover how diversity has strengthened our society. Alan Charles Chipman is the executive director and joins us this morning. Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
What a wonderful week to really celebrate diversity.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we just were, as a nation, we're watching the Olympics and seeing how much of a strength diversity is, and we're inviting back our friend Professor Rajmohan Gandhi, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, to Richmond to tell a story about the importance of diversity and peace during this time. And so we're excited to be able to offer the programs of International Peace Week to the city.
And there are a lot of events that are going on. Talk to us about some of the tours and some of the other ways that folks can really learn more about what is happening here.
Sure. So we have programming from September 18th to September 22nd. I would let the viewers know to be sure to sign up. Some of them are at capacity. So if you haven't made plans or only have concepts of a plan, make sure you go to us.iofc.org and sign up. But on Thursday, we have a community conversation, and thanks to our partnership with Run Richmond 1619, we're able to bring Dr. Cheryl Grills to Richmond, who is part of the California Reparations Task Force. She's done a lot of work around emotional emancipation and emotional healing from the legacy of racism, and she'll be joining Tanya Gonzalez and Anjali Moon, who are great titans of diversity here in Richmond. Saturday, we will have a special guided tour of Shackled Bottom by who I like to call the matriarch of African culture, Omalata Janine Bell of Alegba Folklore Society. And then Sunday will be our 4th annual Intersecting History Museum Crawl, where most of our museum partners will be free for the day. We rent a bus, and it is air conditioned. It goes in between the different
Very
parts.
important.
And we just tell people to bring an open heart and curiosity, and to expand their perspectives, because I think when we do not know each other, it's very easy for the calls to hatred and division to cause us to fear each other. And so I think starting with each other's history, starting with maybe meet somebody on a bus or in a conversation, can really help to create the environment where peace can thrive in our city.
I love that so much, because sometimes a lot of the problems that people have with each other is just misunderstanding. It's not having that dialogue in the first place.
Yeah.
So this really, this initiates dialogue with people who may never have met before.
Absolutely. You know, I think hatred, division is something that thrives in the absence of being present with people. And so especially when a lot of dialogue about important things such as history, is diversity important, can happen only on debate stages or on social media, where you're not really in front of a person, you're not learning. You know, I'm thankful that out of last year, we've started initiatives called Circle Up, where we actually gather people of different communities and perspectives to come together. And so that's what we'll be doing September 18th through the 22nd. And I'm really hopeful and excited to see how this continues to, again, as you say, initiate and invite people into learning more about their neighbor.
So, you know, this is 1 week, but with the follow-up from last year's event, with those kinds of ongoing efforts, this is a conversation that can be happening in Richmond, Virginia every single day of the year.
Absolutely. I mean, our organization really is invested in, as what we like to call, building an infrastructure of understanding. How can someone enter our doors or enter some of our programming and say, hey, I believed this, I don't know this, and actually be able to access information, access people and communities who are willing to open up their lives to each other, so we can actually move from an understanding of each other and not a misunderstanding or a fear of each other.
I understand too that you are going to have an award ceremony that is a part of this week's celebration.
Absolutely.
Who are some of these individuals, if you're able to say, if it's not going to give anything away?
I can't say it. I can't say who it is, but I will say they are dynamic peace builders all around the world. You know, Initiatives of Change is part of an international movement that actually started after World War II, and we have representations in over 12 countries, but we will be honoring some of the trust builders within our network. We're honored to have Professor Rajmohan Gandhi, who will be coming. We thank the city who's helping to sponsor it. It'll be held at Main Street Station on Friday, and so be sure to sign up at us.iofc.org. That particular one I think might be at capacity, but you know, check it out. Maybe we'll add some more.
I've often said that empathy is not always something that people, it's innate to all people, that it's something that you have to really work on, and to have that understanding. What a wonderful way to have this week and these types of events and this dialogue to get that movement going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing develops by mistake. You know, it's just like working out. You can't go and bench press everything that's on there. You have to start with certain places. So we're giving people the opportunity to exercise empathy. And really, I think innately, people aren't that much different. We've done work all around the world, and people want to be understood. People want to have their voices heard, and people want to be viewed in the best light of what they can offer. And that's why we really want to celebrate diversity, not as something to fear, but as an honor and as a thank you to who has really made our society what it is.
Well, thank you so much for coming in here, sharing all of this information with us, and we'll get some more people into some of those events. I think it will be some great conversations.
Absolutely, thank you.
Initiatives of Change USA is hosting several events as part of a 4-day International Peace Week celebration. That includes the Intersecting History Community Conversation happening at the Institute for Contemporary Arts at VCU from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, September 19th. For a complete list, look for a link later today on our show website, virginiathismorning.com. Andres, I'll send it over to you.
We are excited to help our friends Broadway in Richmond celebrate their 2024-2025 season. We will feature a few highlights on our show coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, September 17th, and you don't want to miss it.
Thanks for hanging with us through the break. It's time to get dipping into some signature appetizers.
Local recipe developer Deborah Johnson is here to share her dips featuring sausage, and the other one is a crab creation.
Yes.
You must have known crab is my favorite.
I did?
Yes. All right.
It's one of mine too. These are real quick, easy dips. One is the sausage, is the rotel tomatoes. And so I did, what I started off with was some onions and some celery and let it get translucent and tender. And then I added the sausage. I love sage sausage. So I use sage sausage.
It smells so good in here. We can tell you love the sage sausage.
So after it browns, then you just add your rotel. And I'm not doing a whole can, but usually, you know, if you're making it for a large group, you use a whole can with a pound of sausage. This one has the chiles in it. You can
a little
go
kick.
Spicy if you want, or it depends on you. And then you would add cream cheese.
About how much? Just about a...
If you were doing a whole pound, I would do a half.
Okay.
Like 4 ounces.
Okay.
But since we're doing just a taste test, you want this to melt down.
You can never have too much cream cheese, I feel like. It tastes so good.
And you can always use this with tortilla chips or your favorite chip. With the crab, I like sociables. Or like a crostini.
Yes.
Or pumpernickel bread toasted.
Yes.
Yes.
With a little crunch.
Yes.
That's right. But that means that you could put this out in a nice display in your home and have a few different textures.
Exactly.
So, you know, if you like more of the sausage dip or the crab dip, you've got options, and you can choose the vessel, if you will, the cracker or the crostini.
Exactly. I totally agree. And then once that melts down, then you're going to always add your cheddar cheese. Some people use Velveeta. I like cheddar.
I like cheddar too.
So I use cheddar, a little Monterey Jack in there.
Oh, so a Colby Jack, yum.
And this is coming together so beautifully and so quickly. This is something that you could put together very quickly in your home prior to folks coming over or Thanksgiving coming up.
Exactly, and game day, you know, everybody like a dip.
That's right.
Yeah, with football season, I mean, these kinds of dips that is the reason why you can, you know, have the party and you can put in, you know, just a little bit of work and then just have such a memorable gathering with friends.
It's also perfect at the start of things that would be a potluck style, whether that's game day or something else, because at least folks have a little something to snack on before we get started with the main courses.
Exactly. I totally agree.
And really, who doesn't love a cracker with a little something? You know?
I have a quick question. Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Will this do well in a small crock pot to keep it warm?
It definitely will.
Perfect.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I did with my. I have a cousin that lives in Connecticut, and she always said, "I love a dip." And when she came down for the first time for me meeting her, I fixed this, and I had it in a little crock pot. And she was like, "Oh my God, I dip, you dip, we dip." I was like, "Oh,
that's right. That's the perfect mantra for the season. I dip, you dip, we dip.
dip."
That's right.
It's just like, what do we dip? The cracker or the crostini or
Right.
the tortilla?
We've got to make some decisions.
Maybe even some broccoli or a carrot every now and again.
You could do that.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got a whole nother pot going just like that. What's in this one?
Now this one is the crab dip, and this was the mayo. I have mayonnaise in here. I have the cream cheese.
Your mayonnaise of choice.
My mayonnaise of choice. And then what I will do is add the crab.
Now, what's the key for having the perfect type of crab, the perfect amount of crab for something like this?
For me, you can do the combo or the special. You don't necessarily have to do the lump. And lump can be expensive, so if you want to go the more less expensive route, you can do that.
Save the lump for a different type of recipe.
Exactly,
Because,
like
you know.
lump crab cakes.
Yeah. Yum.
So you can still keep your crab dip pretty economical. We know that costs are going up, but you don't have to use the most expensive. You can use something and have it be just as tasty.
That is exactly right. Now I'm adding obey.
Always perfect with crab.
And I also have in here some parsley. I like basil in mine, and garlic powder.
Everything's better with a little bit of garlic powder. And I actually use parsley very often. It's one of my favorites. Yes.
And then the last thing I'm gonna do is just a squeeze of lime.
The acid
Seeds to get
always
in
does
there.
something so good whenever there's that seafood
Yes.
mixed in.
That was a nice little trick there to catch the seeds.
Then you won't have to go fishing.
Why add an extra step? Do some quality control on the way into the recipe.
And the last thing I do is I do add. I like dry dill is good too, but fresh is always best.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I love some fresh. So I do a little dill.
Dill is one of my favorites. I use a lot of dill.
You do?
Yeah, I just think it
Yeah.
has a great tang to it.
It does. And then the last thing you do is add in your cheese.
Okay. Now, what kind of cheese do you have
this
here?
This is mozzarella.
Okay.
Yeah. So totally different from here. And then that's what makes it cheesy.
So you've got two very different flavor profiles that we can put out to catch anyone who's coming by for a nice dip.
Exactly.
As you said, you dip, I dip, you dip, and we dip.
It makes me want to listen to that song.
Yes. There you go. We've got the soundtrack, we've got the dippers, we've got the dip. Sounds like we don't need much else for this party.
We have the crackers ready to go.
Yes, we do. And we're done.
Well, that is fabulous. And everybody at home, it smells so good. Oh my goodness.
Now, how many is this made for? Just a few?
If this little bit here, I would say maybe 4.
So if we were doing a larger function, you would double, triple, quadruple this recipe. Can you make this in advance and then, put it in the crock pot to warm it up, or do you recommend this being freshly made?
No, you can make it in advance, and to me, the longer it sets in the herbs and the spices in it, it always marinates that crab meat. Makes it delicious. Yeah. You can do it cold, you can do it warm. I like it warm better, but you can do either way.
That's right. I hadn't even thought about it cold, but you certainly could. Or maybe we can put that out as, a few different options, a few different ways to have the same dips.
For sure. And the next thing you do is just load it up and get ready to serve.
Well, aren't these the cutest little...
Cast iron skillets.
Yes. Very cute. And this will hold the temperature nicely as well.
And Andres, you ask, is that for 4 people? That could just...
Amy says, this is for me.
One.
Not enough.
One serving.
It's just for you, huh?
Wow.
You can see all that gooiness.
It's adorable.
Perfectly created.
Same thing with the...
All right, well, we're going to spend some more time plating, and then we're going to taste after the break.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Virginia This Morning. Stay with us.
Love the recipes you see on the show? Visit virginiathismorning.com. Click on the Recipes tab and find your favorites to try out on your own.
Thank you for dipping back into Virginia This Morning. We're ending today's show in the kitchen with recipe developer and cookbook author Deborah Johnson. Her signature dips are on today's menu.
Today's the best time of all because it is time to dig in. What is it? I dip, you dip, we dip. I'm going to take a little just right out of here because.
All right, well, I'm going.
Yum.
We were talking about how you got to, make decisions on what you want to dip with, but these crackers look like the perfect combination.
And I'm going with the sausage.
Oh, that is so good, Deborah.
That is good. And the dill is the perfect addition to that. So we've got crab dip, we've got sausage dip with some rotel in there on a scooper, my favorite.
And you find these recipes in your cookbook, correct?
These recipes are actually on my website.
Okay.
I did some extra ones in the cookbook, like different ones. Like you could actually add like avocado to this.
Oh man, that sausage dip. Oh yeah.
It is really, really delicious. And it's a different kind of an experience if you do the cracker or the tortilla chip. It kind of, just depends on what mood you're in. That's what we like to hear. We like to have different recipes that we can use in different ways.
And served so perfectly in these little cast iron servers. It could make for the cutest little party.
Yes.
And now we have the perfect recipe to put it together.
Hello.
Well, thank you so much for this. We're going to keep on dipping over the course of the day for sure.
And thank you to all of our guests today. Of course, Deborah Johnson, Petersburg Mayor Samuel Parham, Dr. Derek C. Scott from Virginia State University, Rockingham Insurance, Dave Parker, Petersburg Area Regional Tourism, Wendy Austin from Friends of the Lower Appomattox River, and Alan Charles Chipman from Initiative of Change USA.
Our live show returns on Monday at 8:56, and we hope you have an awesome weekend. Keep dipping.